Welcome to the dedicated level editor guide. Here I will show you a good way to start creating your first levels. I will show you some of the UI more in depth and create a level with you guys. So first we'll press enter to close this quick explanation. First we'll add some players. So I just pressed here and then left mouse click on this character. And then you can just let it go and just move around with your mouse and it will just follow you until you left click again. You can also select it to see this screen. You can also click on another and you can see up to two objects properties at the same time. The one you have selected and the one you previously selected. Let's now create a platform object. This is the floors and other objects that the characters walk on. To reset this properties menu, since we'll need it to change the color of this floor, you can press R. This will also reset a few other things, such as the currently selected game object, since it will need some space to place. You can click on this color for the floor. These are two colors, the top one and the bottom one. So let's check it out how this exactly works. We can press P to preview. You can click on the top one to see the top one. So let's just change this a bit, maybe blue, like that. You can just use a slider. It's the same principle as just left click, hold, you hold it and you move it. You release it if you think that's a good value for that slider. So let's do this for the other ones. Maybe this pink is nice. Let's change the floor to maybe just slightly beige. Change the bottom one real quick. Yeah, this seems fine. Also, the way I moved my camera was using the arrow keys. The standard velocity is on 250. But you can increase this by pressing plus or minus on the keypad side. So you can see it increasing and decreasing. And you can also hold it to increase at this rapid. You can rapidly increase it as well. So now let's add some environment to our scene. These are just some bushes or other objects. So you can scroll in this to move up, so you can actually go to the players. Sorry that I didn't mention it before. And you can also scroll in here to go further into the list of items. So let's, for example, add this tree. We can also add a gate. You can see it doesn't show the particles yet, but that's because it doesn't need to render those if you just keep moving it. So let's place it down. You can see all the particles, but what if you change the length? Well, it turns into a slightly transparent white again, but it will generate more particles and be random again. Even if you move it, it will not be the same again. This is the power of randomization. You can see there's some properties here that you can see. So we have the position X. It goes from 446 to 987. Yes. You can also see it for the Y. And you can also see the length and direction. So what is direction? You can also make it vertical. It will also be different. So each platform object can also be changed to a vertical position. Although it isn't very useful for this, since there's no exact velocity to share between X on the X-axis. but only on the y-axis. So you can just keep building your level like that, add some more floors, and just generate more of the level. You can also disable the preview mode, since it has to recalculate a lot more for the background. Now we'll just add some enemies. Enemies have two sides. You can also see this. So these enemies can only go up and down, as you may have noticed in a preview video. And there's also the side ones. So these just stick on the wall and you can let them move horizontally. Maybe at a later stage I could possibly add a vertical one of this that just rides a vertical wall instead. But this is fine for now. We can change the length and how far it will go, so it will go from here to here. So once this side hits there, it will turn back. Same goes for this. If this side, the top side, hits this, it will turn back as well. So there's also something that, there's also inverse. So you can actually inverse objects by pressing I, yeah. And now it's different. So you can see the enemy has two sides. The white side means it's vulnerable on that side. So if you hit that, you eliminate this enemy. But if you hit the normal side, well, then I think you know what happens. You are the one being eliminated. So that's how enemies go. Exits are just the goals. You can go from right to left or from left to right. It just depends on what exactly you want to show in your level. So for example, maybe you could make 3 levels and have your goal be this sign. So you can say, yeah, let's go to the next area. Or you can go from right to left, and you can use this at the left side. You can decide where you want to start and where you want to end. But once it hits this, the level is over. You can also delete objects by grabbing it again and then pressing delete. There's also checkpoints that can't really be inverse, so they will always be on the top side to avoid any possible issues and just keeping it simple, really. So you can also select platform objects and they take another spot on the screen, so you can keep track of certain elements in your level and place your objects very close but correct to each other. As you can see, there's a jagged line here, but that's because the background is generated using a line in between here, and then from this point goes to this point here. So again, the middle line. But that's not really visible in playtime since the gate is there anyway. So that's a quick explanation on how to create a level. But first we'll need to save it. So let's give it a name, for example, Showcase. Or maybe Editor Guide. More a fitting name. So you press enter to save. Or you press save to close it, but don't save. So let's press enter to save it. Well, let's check it out. We can now go into Editor Guide. And here it is, our first level.